Well, very, very good evening. It is Sunday Night Live with Material Issues. Can you believe it? This is episode number 229. I'm Mark Hershberger of Pop Detective Records. I'm over here on the East Coast in southern New Jersey. It's been beautiful. And guess what? My co-host is usually on the other side of the country, but not tonight. He's a mere hour and a half north of me, hanging out in the Boogeyman residence, New York City, Mr. David Bash, the president of the International Pop Overthrow Festival. He's been busy with the festival. David, good evening. I could say good evening because where you're at, it is evening.
Yes, you may say that.
Good deal. Good deal. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks, Mark.
Everything going well? I'm hearing about, yeah.
No, things have gone well with IPO. We had a really good one in New York last week at the Parkside Lounge. Had some amazing bands, good crowds, great vibe in that club, and already looking forward to next year. And this just past Wednesday through Saturday, we did IPO in Boston at the Square Root. Had an amazing time. The owner, Anthony Giordano, is just the coolest guy. And we had amazing, great bands, awesome crowds, better than I expected, which is always nice. And yeah, we've already locked in next year. Not dates yet, but it'll be at around the same time.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I've done lots of record shopping, so much that I'm going to have to mail back a ton, literally 2,000 pounds of record. No, not really, but it sure feels like it when I lift them. So I'm going to have to mail back a lot because I only brought one bag with me this trip. I figured, because of my back, I would just save the wear and tear,
right,
and just let UPS have the business. But one of my favorite things was going to the WFMU record fair.
Oh yeah.
Something that I had heard about for years, but never was able to go because it didn't align with IPO until this year. It was, first of all, it's very overwhelming. I have to say that. Going in, seeing all those tables, not really knowing where to look. Also, I had a limited time. Good evening, Tim.
Tim.
At a very limited time window because the IPO show that was going to start that afternoon. But I did find one box that said white label promos. And not one box, one table. And I said to the man, "You're speaking my language." And I did happen to buy a few of those. Here's one of the coolest ones, The Spirit of 67 by Paul Revere and the Raiders with timing strip and a white label. Gotta love that. Let's see what else. This one doesn't have a timing strip. I really always love the cover of this album. Dave Clark 5, You Got What It Takes, that kind of psychedelic look. But it does have a white label. So, okay then. A band that pop people really don't think about too much, but I've always loved them. Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes.
Yep.
Their second album, this time it's for real, with timing strip and white labal.
That's I Don't Want to Go Home on it. Is that I Don't Want to?
That's the first album.
Oh, it's the first album? Okay.
Right. Yeah. But I've always loved Southside Johnny. I've seen him 4 times. I met him a few times over the years. Really cool New Jersey guy.
Yeah, sure.
But the pièce de résistance was something I found at another table. And I love test pressings also. And this is one of the coolest test pressings I've ever found. Oh, okay. I took the price off. Good. The first Undertones album.
Yeah.
And it was not cheap. But, you don't find these things. Apparently on Discogs, it sold, a couple of them sold for a lot more than what I paid. So I'll be happy about that. Then in Boston, one of the records I found that's very cool, the alternate cover of Time of the Sea, of Odyssey and Oracle, by the Zombies.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I have original UK pressings of stereo and mono on that, but I didn't have any US pressing, not originals anymore. So I found this one. Again, alternate cover, not as cool, but I've got the other cover in UK, which is great. So yeah, I plan on renting a car, going into Long Island in the next couple of days, and going to a couple of shops there. And then, of course, there's Toronto. There's 3 really good record shops there that I know. So we'll be hitting those. Dave's coming up with me.
Yep.
Which is great. So I'll have company. He'll run the merch table.
Well, that's nice. That's nice. And tell Dave I said it's good to see him.
Yeah, for sure. But today we have a really cool guest, singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist of a band I've loved for about almost 30 years now, since I heard their album Memory Lane Traffic Jam on Not Lame Recordings.
Yep.
Just all through the years, whenever they put out records, I've been excited. And their 2007 album, The Good China, finished #1 for me that year. But they have a brand new record, which is really excellent as well. Giant Fox Pineapple Tree. I've got the vinyl right here. Yeah. And the color of the vinyl is exactly what you see on the cover. So that's another cool thing. It's also available on CD, which I don't know. I don't think I have the CD yet. I'm waiting for that. But I do have the vinyl and some great tracks on here. I say it's kind of a combination. Well, I mean, they have their own style, but it's a combination of, let's say, Teenage Fan Club and the Pernice Brothers, which is just, which makes for beautiful, jangly, but also rockin' combination of those styles, and it works really well. So anyway, without further ado, would you please give a huge materialist welcome to Douglas Lee Robertson?
And there he is.
Hello, Douglas.
He's all the way from Australia. It's tomorrow there, right?
It's definitely tomorrow here.
Yeah, can you give us some tips of something that's happening on Monday that we don't know about yet? Maybe I can bet on, or
He's never heard
something you can bet on. Well, I'm not really a betting man. No tips. I'm out in sort of eastern, about an hour east of Melbourne, in a beautiful part of the world called the Yarra Valley, in Healesville, just nestled in the foothills. It's drizzly and damp and cold today, which is very strange for this time of year.
It is.
This is
warm.
This is your summer. I mean,
yeah,
correct? Yeah, because you're basically completely opposite of what we are here in New Jersey.
Exactly.
Which always fascinates me that, when people are talking about, well, it's summer and you're the other side of the world. I've never been to Australia. It's on my bucket list, but it fascinates me, the music that always comes out of there, and the fact that I guess you're all basically coastal living, not too far inland, because inland is just kind of all desert. Yeah, that's a way to describe it. Correct, right? I that's like people that talk to me from Russia or whatnot. They have no clue about, if they've never been to the U.S., what it's all about. As I don't have that much of a clue about Australia when it's all coastal based without going too far in the middle.
Yeah, we've got about the population of California just strung around the edges of a continent the size of the US.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that is very interesting. Yeah, because you've got Perth about 500 miles west of you.
Oh, more than that. It's a couple of thousand. Well, no, it's a long flight. It's a couple of days drive. It's a couple of days drive from one
okay, I thought it was closer. Okay, but wow.
It'd be like driving from New York to Los Angeles.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, Douglas, just again because of my lack of knowledge of Australia and the music business over there, growing up and playing in bands and going out and getting out and playing, I guess travel really becomes an issue to try to get out of kind of where you're at.
Yeah.
Play
sure.
other large areas because it's pretty far out. I mean, they're pretty vast from each other. What is that? What is that like as, a band trying to at least make it in Australia, so to speak? It's
kind of difficult because I think you find bands when they're starting out, they sort of just stick within their town, because traveling is like, I grew up in Adelaide, which is probably about 10 hours drive from Melbourne. And when you're growing up there, going and playing a gig in Melbourne is a massive thing. And going to play a gig in Sydney is even more of a massive thing. So people tend to stick in their sort of home territory, if you know what I mean, until they're kind of big enough to branch out and do that travel. And even then, there's a lot of driving. If you've got to have a van full of gear, it's a big commitment to do a tour.
Yeah.
So yeah, bands tend to stay fairly local. We're doing a launch in Melbourne in a few weeks' time, and a launch in Sydney. But just going to somewhere like Perth is just it's financially challenging.
Sure.
So
have Ice Cream Hands ever left Australia?
We have left Australia. We played it in the US in 1999, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
98, and that was the last time we were there. And we did South by Southwest in Austin, which was fantastic.
It used to be, yeah.
It used to be, okay. But in 98, we had a little Australian contingency. At the time, we were signed to Rubber Records, who put out our first few albums. And it was run by still is run by a fantastic guy called David Vodika. And he organised a little Australian contingent to go. So it was us and a fantastic band called Even, who I'm sure
I loved it. I did get to see Even, actually.
Yeah, and
they came to Los Angeles once.
Yeah, right. And another band called Snout, who were also signed to Rubber Records. And so the main focus was doing South by Southwest, which was great. And we did some side gigs in LA and New York, just a couple. The one in LA was it was in Silver Lake. I can't remember.
Spaceland, I'll bet.
Spaceland. It was Spaceland. Thank you very much. So we had a little Australian night there, and we also played with the Liquor Giants.
Yeah, they're awesome. And what's his name? Ward moved to Australia, or did he move to Australia at some point?
No, he moved to Indonesia.
Oh, Indonesia, that's it.
Yeah, he's living his best life there, I can tell you.
That's wonderful.
If you sell a house in Silver Lake, it gets you a long way in Indonesia.
Yeah,
yeah.
But we first met Ward in 1993 because his first Liquor Giants album was also released on Rubber Records, and he needed a pickup band in Australia. And it's funny, I've still got the letter here. So it says, this is the letter from Ward, and it says it's from Ward Dotson, 67 East 2nd Street, New York City.
Huh.
And inside, he's written down all the songs and chords.
Yeah.
So he basically rolled up in Melbourne, and we got into a rehearsal studio, and we'd learnt all his songs previously. And he said, "Oh man, you guys are better than my band back home." So we did a run of gigs around. We didn't do a run. We did some gigs in Melbourne and some gigs in Sydney, which all went really well, and it was so much fun. And we actually
that Liquor Giants were such a great band. I was so privileged to have them at my festival a couple of times.
Yeah,
and Ward's a very cool guy.
Oh, he's a fantastic guy. Yeah, he was so much fun.
Well, I'm glad you got to go to the States at least, but that's ever since then, that's been about it, huh? As far as leaving Australia.
Absolutely, because once again, it's financially really difficult to get everyone on a plane, and you just don't know what you're going to get really. So I guess until the day when potentially we get some sort of rich benefactor who's going to drag us to the US, I'm really sad to say, but it's unlikely it'll be anytime soon.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, see what you can organize, David.
It's an interesting. I mean, it's an interesting concept of Australian bands just being as far away as you are from the United States, Canada, or even throughout the UK and Scandinavian, all those countries over there. They can get to a lot of places.
Yeah,
a lot quicker, easier, cheaper than what bands and artists out of Australia can. It's just it's a tough concept to think of how you're just behind the eight ball almost immediately, just based on distance.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a tough one.
Now we know that Australians' lineage, or at least some of it, is UK, but you're also closer geographically to the western part of the U.S. Would you say most Australian musicians are influenced more by UK music or American music?
I guess when bands like the Easy Beats were prolific, when the first Australian bands really started to break it big, I'm guessing it was more of a UK influence, the Beatles and the Kinks and all that sort of stuff. And because of our close connection to the motherland, I guess London was probably the first port of call for a lot of those bands.
Right.
And the US was always like the golden destination that you had to make it to if you were really going to make it big. But yeah, look, I'd say probably back then the UK influence was probably more prevalent, but nowadays, we live in a global, nation where, things are accessible. And so, there's lots of Americana sort of, jangly sort of West Coast rock. And that's kind of where I am really. That's what I get into. So I think probably, in the last, 30 years or so, I think the influence has probably become a bit more global rather than just the sort of UK pop thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's just it's interesting. So even when you were young, starting out and playing and whatnot, a lot of your hope just has to be, let's try to get popular, or as popular we can, get some radio play where you're at, and then hopefully it kind of spreads from there. Because back in those days, you had to tour behind things. You had to go play live. It wasn't like the internet now, where you could be seen worldwide just basically by logging into TikTok or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
which was not lame records was for us whenever they were putting out and letting us discover bands like Ice Cream Hands that if it wasn't for certain catalogs or people like that, we wouldn't know about a lot of this stuff.
And then that brings about the question: how did you get hooked up with Not Lame, being as far away as they are?
So that was another Rubber Records thing. So Rubber had a sort of distribution arm, I guess, through Not Lame in the US. So that's the only reason I think that would have happened, just through David Vodika's contacts at Rubber. So I think that's the only time we've really had any kind of other distribution. For a while there, Rubber was linked with BMG Records.
Yes.
And so we had some decent distribution in Australia through them. But since then, it's really been pretty much all independent. We released The Good China through Dust Devil Records. But since then, for the last couple of records, we've been solely independent and just had distribution through Bandcamp. There's a small distribution connected to the vinyl pressing place we just used recently, Zenith Records. They've got a vinyl distribution company called Magnetic South, and they distribute within Australia. So they're selling a bit of vinyl for us and CDs as well in shops. Yeah. But mostly it's been through, just our fan base at gigs, and through Facebook and social media that people are hearing about us now. And so yeah, we're pretty independent these days.
Well, fortunately, you were able to get your new record to me.
Yes.
All the way to LA. Giant Fox Pineapple Tree. Here's the vinyl. I'd like to play a track from it right now, if that's okay.
Wait.
I always tell acts there must be a reason why you chose a certain song to lead off an album. This is one that your songwriting partner, or one of them anyway, Charles Jenkins, wrote, called "Leaving Nobody Out." Do you know the origin of that?
I think he just posted a. We've been doing some little bit of posting on Instagram about sort of the origins of songs and that sort of stuff recently, and I just think he kind of knew this was going to be track one, and he wanted it to be a welcome. I don't know if you have it over there, but over here we've got this thing called a Welcome to Country, which talks about the indigenous history of the country, and basically it's welcome to Australia, welcome to my land, and I think this is Charles saying welcome to our album.
Nice.
Welcome strangers, welcome fans, friends, Romans, countrymen.
Well,
give me your ears.
And you left nobody out, which is appropriate, because the song is "Leaving Nobody Out." So we'll play that right now, the lead-off track from the brand new album by Ice Cream Hands. This one's called "Leaving Nobody Out" here on Material Issues.
Welcome strangers, welcome fans, friends, Romans, and countrymen, up and comers, and what's at hand, winners and losers, champions. Let's begin.
the opening track from Giant Fox Pineapple Tree, the brand new album by Melbourne's own Ice Cream Hands, and it's Leaving Nobody Out. It's such a great song.
Yeah, I'm digging the George Harrison slide guitar stuff going on there. That has a very Harrison reminiscent sound to it. Great stuff.
Really yeah, thank you.
Do you guys generally, whoever writes also sings that song, or sometimes you trade off?
That's generally the way it goes. Yeah, Charles is our most prolific songwriter. Probably one of the most prolific songwriters in Australia, I would say. Wow. But yeah, no, we generally, you know, if we write it, we sing it. Yeah.
Well, we'll get to one of yours shortly, but who would you say your major influences are musically?
Well, look, the obvious one is the Beatles. You can't go past them. I love the Byrds. I love anything really. Anything with a bit of, you know, jingle or jangle. I love the Jayhawks. I keep coming back to that first album, Tomorrow the Green Grass. It's just so good. But it's I guess it's for me, it's not so much artists, but songs. So it could be a random song from anyone. Like, you know, 20 years ago, I was really influenced by bands like Crowded House and that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, now I'm finding, you know, things like Carole King and, you know, anything really. But look, it's pretty safe to say there's a strong late 60s through, you know, mid 70s vibe for me. I'm a bit old school like that. I guess it's the songs that really kind of had an influence on me when I was younger, or really touched me in a way when I was a younger person. And I think there's a lot to be said for, you know, trying to reclaim maybe some of that joy or innocence you felt as a younger person, that you tend to lose as you get older. I don't know, some people probably don't lose it, but generally speaking, you tend to lose that joy, or that feeling of joy and wonder as you get older. So for me, trying to almost replicate songs that I loved when I was younger, you know, things like the Carpenters. You know, whenever I hear the Carpenters, I just go to jelly, you know.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And
you know, it's one of the best things I've ever heard in any song. Trying to remember the name of the guitarist. I think it's Tommy Peluso who played on this song, Goodbye to Love. That solo in the last 2 minutes. Talk about going to jelly. Oh my God. The counterbalance between that and her and the layered harmonies of her voice. Oh my God. Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and we talk about that with you know, the shows that we get to play new music from either artists that have been around for a number of years or brand new artists. And, you know, there are people who don't go out and search for good music or try to find it. And we hear it all the time, like there's no good music being made anymore. Well, they just don't know where to find it, because there is a lot of great, as you talk about, jangly, you know, harmony, happy, uplifting kind of pop music is out there. There's some really good stuff being made, but people
lots of it.
And people just aren't tuning in to where they can find. They got to do a little, even though it's available in all kinds of electronic social media aspects, people still have to do a little bit of work to find and listen to some of this stuff. And that's kind of why we like to play new things on this show, because it's great stuff out there. And
what happens also, each year for International Pop Overthrow, I do a 3-disc compilation which features bands who play the festival, bands from all over the world. And if I play it for people who are in the mainstream, you know, who really listen to people like Taylor Swift or whatever they can hear on the radio. Even older people, older or younger, well, older people mainly for this, invariably they'll say, I had no idea that there were people out there still doing this kind of music. And I tell them there are hundreds, literally hundreds of artists out there. They're just not being played on mainstream radio anymore, but they're doing it.
Yeah, we get a similar thing sometimes. You know, people hear our music and they go, "Oh, where have you been?" You know, I love this, and we go, "Well, we've been around, but it's just you just haven't stumbled across us." You know, and it's actually being reflected in our album sales at the moment. I should mention, incidentally, that we just found out the other day that we were actually 38 on the ARIA album charts in Australia.
Oh wow!
And number 8 on the Australian album charts, and that's the first time that's happened since 1998. And I'm not sure why, but somehow, whether it's social media or the video we made, we've connected to a whole bunch of new people that I can't really recognize from our previous sales and all that sort of stuff. So I guess it only takes one little thing, or someone to say, hey, check this out, and people go, wow, where have you guys been? You're great, how long have you been around? It's like, well, I'm old enough to be your grandpa, kind of thing. Yeah.
How important is, well, I mean, I'm trying to lead into two questions here. How important is it now for a band like yours to get radio play, and how does that compare? I mean, how does that compare with, let's say 1998 when there was still a music industry?
Well, radio play, I mean, you've obviously got, the big networks which play your Taylor Swifts and your Sabrina Carpenters and your golden oldies and all that sort of stuff. But radio's a really weird one. We've been getting some support from local radio and community radio stations, basically, anything except the major networks. I mean, there's 3 major radio networks in Australia, and they've each got their pop station, their golden oldie station, their easy listening station. So it's all controlled by really 3 major networks in Australia. And unless it's some sort of specific show, where they're playing, today we're just playing Australian music, and they'll do an hour because they have to play a certain amount of Australian content in order to keep their license. But look, you won't find us on any of those radio stations in Australia. So it's the community stations, and luckily, especially here in Melbourne, we've got some fantastic community radio stations. We've got Triple R and PBS, which are all subscriber based. So they're for real music fans who want to hear something new and who want to hear something local, and who want to hear something that's not, the mainstream diet. Yeah. So those stations have been great. But yeah, look, you can't rely on radio airplay to get your stuff out there. You can't. You've just got to play. And look, I think we're lucky. If we just popped up last year, it'd probably be quite difficult. But luckily, we've got this sort of legacy that we can draw upon, and we've got a legacy of fans going back 30 years who have now, they're all a bit older like us, and maybe, and sometimes even their kids have gone, their 18, 20-year-old kids have gone, wow, I love this, so So yeah, you definitely can't rely on radio, and it kind of never really was important to us. It was something that was fantastic if it happened, but you could never rely on it.
Well, and it's interesting. I have daughters that are 31 and 26, and of course they have their loves of what's going on today, Taylor Swift and Jonas Brothers and all that kind of stuff like that. But it's kind of funny because back in the day when there were a lot of radio play, a lot of radio stations, a lot of variety, college radio, you heard a song, but you didn't automatically match it with what the band looked like.
Yeah.
And people would be like, "Oh, I love this song," and it wasn't until you went out and found the album or whatever that you finally said, "Oh, this is what they look like," and it didn't matter because you loved the song. I think to the detriment today, a lot of younger people are looking at what somebody looks like first and foremost, and then do I like the song? So if they're looking,
in 1981, video killed the radio star.
Video killed the radio, yeah. But
when MTV came around.
And today, even when I talk to younger people and my daughters, their age, I'll play them something which I know they're going to love, and they love it. Yeah. And first thing they say is like, because they know me, how old are these guys? And I go, well, what does it matter? What
Really?
Just love, and they love the music, but a lot of their generation wants the slick looking, it's all. Yeah. It's more about the visual than it is about the music, and that's a sad commentary today in many ways. So if there is a way that I don't know in Australia how easy it is for you or your challenges in getting into commercials or television or ads or even local indie films and things, which is kind of where Pop Detective Records ended up doing better, was in places like that, commercials and things, than actually physical sales and any kind of radio play. But you see where I mean. It's more lamenting the fact that people are into visuals today, the younger audience, than they are to the music. And I just wish we could say, let's do the Klaatu thing, and we have no idea what you look like or who you are or how old you are, because you sound fantastic. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was always somewhat important. I mean, if Elvis and the Beatles looked like mutts, they probably never would have achieved the level of success that they did. But then, you have a lot of one-hit wonders people who had number one records back in the 60s who or even in the 70s, who nobody knew what they looked like.
Yeah,
so maybe to become a superstar, it would be hard to become a superstar if you were unattractive, but you could certainly become somewhat of a star and have some big hits if nobody even knew what you look like. But not anymore, as you say.
Yeah.
Now it's impossible.
Yeah. So is there a route in Australia for a commercial airplay, like commercials, television series, that kind of thing?
There definitely is. There definitely is. I wouldn't say so much commercials. I mean, I think probably you'd have to be like, I think, remember Jet?
Yeah.
They had, I think it was an iPhone commercial or something, do you want to be my girl? I can't remember what the product was, but I think the hit came first, and then they went, oh, we need to grab that because it's a catchy, jingly sounding song,
Yeah.
But I think that would come first. But look, no, there is a route for that, but it's probably more along the lines of television shows. Just having your song in the background. Maybe they're sitting in a cafe and your song's in the background or something like that. But I think. We don't have publishing deals at the moment. So any big publishers out there in the US, just give us a call.
There you go.
So I think, if you've got your song on a list of, potential for publishers to look at and go, oh, that song could work for this film or TV show or whatever. that hasn't happened. It's happened for me a couple of times. I think I get a royalty of about $6 every year for some show that was in Finland or something like that.
Ah,
Very obscure.
Yeah. Or played on some small independent airline up flying over somewhere, and it gets played on their little radio thing, and you get 42 cents for that. Yeah,
that's right.
we actually IPO International Pop Overthrow almost actually got free advertising in the Alaskan Airlines magazine on their flight. It would have happened except for COVID. COVID killed the festival star. Let's play another track from the album, and this one is yours. I really love it. It's the fourth track on the album called "Do You Feel It?" And I bet you know the origin of that one because you wrote it.
I do. It like once again with these little Instagram clips we've been doing, I said this song really isn't about anything. It's just meant to be a bit of a joyous explosion. It's about the potential for things to be wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
That's an uplifting message, and we need a lot more of that.
We actually demoed this song about 4 BPM slower than what it actually ended up being. And Charles likes to say it was so cold down at the studio we recorded that we played everything faster just to keep warm.
Nice,
so in an album of fairly mid-paced songs, this one just pops out. It goes bang, straight out of the gates.
One of the reasons I really love it. So let's let everybody hear it. This is the fourth track on Giant Fox Pineapple Tree. It's called "Do You Feel It?" Written by Douglas Lee Robertson. Here are Material Issues.
There was a time when you could only drag your feet.
Wow, I have to say, I love everything about that song. The chord changes, the way the background vocals, just these subtle little things that you stick in there, different instruments coming in unexpectedly. Man, it's a masterpiece in my opinion.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's very it's very bright, happy pop, and yeah, I love it. Love the little descending piano lines. I love the background vocals. Yeah, really good.
It's
That's
something I could imagine hearing on the radio for sure. I mean, it definitely harkens back to things that I grew up with.
yeah, indeed, really well done. I love it.
Excellent.
Feel it. Yeah, good
Thank you
stuff.
so much.
Good stuff.
I wanted to ask about something from your past. I guess this was in association with Memory Lane Traffic Jam, but you guys Ice Cream Hands were nominated for 2 ARIA awards, right?
That's correct. That was for the album after that one.
Oh,
yeah, that was for Sweeter Than the Radio. Yeah, so there was a song. So the album, I think the album got a nomination for I think it was best adult contemporary. I think it was called adult contemporary.
yeah.
So we were in a category there where we sort of thought, oh, we didn't think we were adult contemporary. But I think they just wanted to find a category for us because all of the other categories were full. But we got a nomination, but needless to say, we didn't win the award. But it was wonderful to go and, wander down the red carpet and hobnob with all the other pop sensations of the time. And then a year after that, we got another nomination for a song from an album called Broken UFO. And the song was called Rain, Hail, Shine, and that was nominated for Best Independent Release.
Who do I have to bump off that beat you?
Who did we have to bump off?
Yeah.
People I can't remember now.
Well,
Fly-by-nighters they were. Fly-by-nighters. Flash in the Pans.
Yeah.
Not the band Flash in the Pan.
No. It's funny. I kind of ripped off "Do You Feel It" from Flash in the Pan.
Yeah.
The way it goes. Just that whole rundown, that piano rundown was kind of ripped off from one of their songs. So funny you should mention that.
You should say that.
I figured they're an Australian band, and if the pun lent itself to us, then yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Yeah.
And speaking, I always like to ask this question. Speaking of Australian bands, are there bands of your ilk or sound, as you always said that you like the jangle things? Are there bands that are going on right now out of Australia that you might be able to say, have you heard this, guys, or have you heard this act at all? Is there somebody that's kind of turning you on that's Australian?
Not really. I've got to say, I really don't keep my finger on the pulse.
Right. Yeah.
Of these things. I've got a 20-year-old daughter who's always bringing me, hey Dad, check this out. But it will be some, independent, UK, singer who's just, incredible. But as far as the jangle goes, no, Marcus, our guitarist, is really good with that sort of stuff, and he's always searching out new things.
Yeah.
He sent me this link, last year sometimes. He goes, Doug, check out this band, they're incredible. And they're playing in Melbourne in, a few weeks. Do you want to go and see them? And it was the Lemon Twigs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And man,
yeah,
I love those guys.
Yes.
I mean, just incredible to do what they're doing at the age they are. they're still so young, and their latest album is just a masterpiece.
It really is.
So yeah, look, I'm a massive fan of them, but thinking of Australian bands, I really couldn't say.
Well,
just
one
along
we
those
might
lines.
be able to tell you about.
Yes, please.
We had him on as a guest on Material Issues. Also a very young guy, not quite as young as the guys in the Lemon Twigs, and I believe he lives. I think he's from Perth originally, but lives in Melbourne now. Wesley Fuller.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
definitely check him out.
Okay. Yeah, I will. Yeah, look, I probably should investigate these things a bit more, but life gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. We had Danny Ayala, the bass player and keyboardist from the Lemon Twigs, on our show a few weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He has a brand new album that's really good.
New album out as well.
Yeah. So look for Danny Ayala.
Yeah.
Ayala.
Ayala. Okay. Yeah. Great. Yeah. No, the way they jumped on different instruments, and he'd jump on the keys, and then the lead singer would jump on the bass, and then the other brother would jump on the drums and just play like Keith Moon,
Yeah.
Like that. That was so good.
And he was talking about, they were growing up in New York. They all knew each other as kids. And he goes, the Dario brothers, they, even from in grade school, they were, performing in front of their classmates and just blowing it away from a very young age.
Yeah. Incredible.
And now they're still young, but so experienced. It's so good at their craft. Yeah, good call on the Lemon Twigs.
Yeah.
I'll give you a name. I'll give you a name that may end up being another luminary in the young pop boy kind of thing. They've actually done some shows with Lemon Twigs. We just had this band play at IPO in New York. They're called the Candy Rocks. They're from Baltimore, in the States, and they've definitely got the goods, but they're just, they've just started out. They don't have much recorded yet, but they're working on an album, and I'm sure they'll do more shows with the Lemon Twigs. I guess they never made it out to Australia, but they, to look for sure.
Nice.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Let's play one more track from the brand new album, and this is the last track on the album, the ballad, which you co-wrote with a different band member than Charles. I'm trying to remember which one, though.
Yeah, Smiley. Derek G. Smiley.
Okay.
Our drummer. Yeah. Yeah, he really wanted to collaborate on a song. And I said, okay, well, give me what you got. And he helped me co-write the lyrics about the passing of his dear mother. So it needed to be. Look, I'm a sucker for a ballad. I really do, and I've got to slot one in, and everyone sort of rolls their eyes and goes, "Oh, not another ballad." But I wanted there to be a song where we could leave space for all the strings and all the oohs and ahs to sort of really, take a focus. And I think the first thing I thought of was it just needs to be piano and drums, just needs to start with piano and drums because we don't normally do a lot of that sort of stuff. Co-wrote this one in the haze about the passing of Smiley's mum, or as you would say, mom.
We've heard mum before.
You've heard mum? Have you heard mum? Have you heard an English accent? The passing of my mum. So it was always going to be a sad song, but I wanted it to be a little bit sort of uplifting as well, and I wanted that middle 8 section to be as Jimmy Webb as I could possibly get.
Nice. Yeah, nice.
Well, it's a fine way to end the album. A beautiful song, and we're going to play it now from Giant Fox Pineapple Tree, the brand new album by Ice Cream Hands. Here's In the Haze on Material Issues. Wow, that's just lovely.
Wow, yes. I mean, that just is. I've got these really good earbuds in, and man, everything going on everywhere in your head with that song. A lot of things. It's just beautiful. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now I described Ice Cream Hands as sort of a combination of Teenage Fan Club and the Pernice Brothers. Are you familiar with either of those acts?
Oh yeah, I love both of them, and we've actually had the pleasure of supporting Teenage Fan Club in Australia.
Oh,
yeah, that was a big moment for us, a very big moment for us. And I love the Pernice Brothers. What's that album? Something About Happiness.
Overcome by Happiness.
Overcome by Happiness. Is that an album or a song?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just loved, especially because, I mean, Teenage Fan Club, you've got, you know, 3 guitars all going at once, you know, rang, rang, rang.
Yeah.
The Pernice Brothers, it was so stripped back and so gentle and beautiful. And just the way he would deliver those, you know, and he would almost whisper those lyrics, you know.
Yeah, no, that's their album. That opening track, Crestfallen. Is a killer. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, love that song.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, we're all big fans of Teenage Fan Club. So when we, you know, back in the day when we were doing a lot of driving to Sydney and Brisbane and all over the place, Adelaide, sort of, you know, late 90s, early 2000s, we'd have Teenage Fan Club on the CD player, Teenage Fan Club, Carpenters, another band that escapes me right now, and Smiley will kill me, if Cotton Mather.
Oh, Cotton Mather. Yeah.
Oh, what an album that was.
Out of Texas, Austin.
Yeah. And you know, the Carpenters and and the Pernice Brothers and things like that, and you know, XTC and
of course,
yeah, indeed. But just so people know, you're listening to Ice Cream Hands, the brand new album. We've been posting it up there with the awesome title, Giant Fox Pineapple Tree, which we should probably ask what the heck that is. But
very unusual title. So
at the bottom,
gotta hear the origin of that one.
Yeah, well, look,
.com.au is where you can find all the information about everything Ice Cream Hands. So check out the website going across the bottom. But go ahead, Doug.
Well, I was gonna preface that by saying, I mean, Ice Cream Hands is a pretty weird name for a band as well. But once we'd kind of had it for a year or two, we thought, well, we can't change it now. We can't go back.
And, is it about what I think it's about?
Well, probably is. We actually got into was a little Rolling Stone. It was a little strip sort of article on you know, page 83 of Rolling Stone, whenever, and it had us in with 10cc and Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
So you can make of that what you will.
And we will.
And
we will. Given that 32 years later, we've still got the same band name, we probably could have actually changed it about, you know, 20 years ago, and no one would ever have noticed. But so I guess what I'm saying is, once you've decided on a name, you're kind of stuck with it, and that's the way that the album title kind of worked. When we were down, we were recording the album, so we recorded it to tape with no click track in a very analog studio, which is something we haven't done for a long time, and actually recording all in the same room together. The beds for the tracks is something we haven't done since 1998. So we all went away together, and when we all go away together, we generally get up to no good and have a lot of fun, and sort of little catchphrases and things come up that we just keep, you know, continuing with. against our better judgment. But one night when we were driving home from we hired a house about half an hour away from the studio, and it was in the depths of winter. It was foggy, it was cold, it was rainy, and I was driving the car, back through the back roads of Gippsland in southeastern Victoria, and I sort of saw this enormous red thing coming towards the road, and I went, "Oh my God, it's a giant fox!" Because you always expect a fox is going to run across the road at some stage.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, we've got lots of foxes in Australia, and the place you normally see them, unfortunately, is dead on the road. But I thought, oh, it's a giant fox. But in the morning, when we drove back to the studio, when we drove past the same place, we realised it was just a very large red horse in a paddock. But so giant fox. So everyone would keep saying, "Oh, Doug, it's a giant fox," giving me a really hard time about it. But there's also a line in one of Charles's songs called "Don't Let the Party Fade Out," and he says, I've only a small patch of land, but I have a fine apple tree, and plenty of room for you and for me," or something like that. And Marcus, our guitarist, heard that as pineapple tree, as opposed to a fine apple tree. So it just became giant fox pineapple tree, and once we said it, it couldn't be unsaid. And we tried to come up with a few other. We thought, well, that's a really dumb name for an album. Why don't we call it, Gippsland 2025? I don't know, whatever. or at least take one of the song titles from the album and make that the album title, which we've kind of done in the past. But no, that name just stuck, unfortunately, and we thought, well, it's as good a title as any. The imagery is good, as you can see on the screen now.
I was not familiar that pineapples grew like that.
They don't. There's no such thing as a pineapple tree, which is kind of the funny thing about it.
I love it. That's really good. It's an interesting album cover. It's really it does grab your attention. David was holding it up, and of course the vinyl color is the same as the.
Yeah, I should just add. Actually, I overheard David saying that, and we actually did a limited release of the orange vinyl, which is now unfortunately all sold out. So we sold that vinyl first up, and a lot of people grabbed that orange vinyl, but that's all gone now. So we're back to the original black. And if we need to do another run of vinyl, which I hope we do, we'll get some more orange ones done.
That's why I was going to say, you said unfortunately it's sold out, but I think that's a good thing.
Oh, no.
I know what you meant.
I should say, fortunately, it's sold out.
Yeah,
and I know what you meant, of course. But.
Yeah.
Well, it's really good. What's the plan? What's the plan with the album now? Are you guys going to be playing more?
Yeah. So we've got our not that it's going to help any of your US viewers or listeners, but if anyone's tuning in Australia, we're launching the album on the 13th of December at the Peter Shimbolo in Sydney, and we're launching it at the Northcote Social Club in Melbourne on the 20th, Saturday night, the 20th of December. So we've got a tradition which has been going back a few years now of doing a Christmas show. We don't play. We're not one of those bands that are out every fortnight or weekend. We tend to play maybe just 3 or 4 times a year and try and make it a bit of an event. So this will be our Christmas show combined with an album launch. And there'll be a couple of shows next year which are yet to be announced and yet to be booked. But I think next year will definitely be a bit busier for us than the year just gone.
Nice.
Do you have supporting acts for these shows lined up yet?
Yes, we do. Yes, we've got the Wellingtons in Melbourne.
Oh, love the Wellingtons.
Love the Wellingtons, yeah.
Yeah.
Please tell Zach I said hi.
Yeah, good. I will. And Brian Estepar and his band.
Oh, yeah. Wow, he's coming all the way to, or does he live there now?
Brian's in Sydney. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he's always been based there, as far as I'm aware.
Thought he was from. Oh, I guess his origins are Spanish, but.
Brian's Filipino.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Brian Estepar.
Yeah, we love him.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's based in Sydney, and he'll be. He's actually been really good. The last time we were up there, he supported us up there as well.
That's
and
fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Douglas, this has been great. We're thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, we wish you the best with this album. It deserves all the success. And I just we'll obviously stay in touch. Look forward to more from Ice Cream Hands in the future, hopefully. And but in the meantime, everyone listening, go out and buy this record. And if you already have it, buy it for a friend. They'll become a better friend.
Yeah, that's right. And I should just say as well, I have sent a few vinyls to the US, but obviously it's not cheap.
No.
But your good friend Ray at Cool Cat Music is in, or will hopefully in a few days be in possession of some CDs. So if you do want to order it from Cool Cat Music in New Jersey, that's a good way to do it.
Yep.
Otherwise, you can just hit us up on Bandcamp, and I'll happily pop a vinyl into the US mail for you.
There you go. Nice.
Our good friend Ray down at Cool Cat is a great place to get it in the US if that's what you have access to. So please support Cool Cat as well. So it's all great. Yeah, thank you so much, Douglas. What a great interview today. Really enjoyed it and been a fan.
It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Well, great. I'm glad you enjoyed it. But so we'll say goodbye by. I've always wanted to have the honor of playing this track because it's my favorite Ice Cream Hands song.
Oh wow!
It's from, and that includes everything that you've done. It's from your 2007 album, The Good China, and I just get tears in my eyes every time I hear this. So the world needs to know it if they don't already. This is a track called Anyway, and we'll finish up with that. So again, Douglas, thank you so much for spending time with us. And
thank you. Yes, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Tim. All right. So so here's Anyway from The Good China here on Material Issues.
Thank you.
There's not
Absolutely lovely song from Ice Cream Hand's 2007 album, The Good China. You need to pick that one up as well. Song is called Anyway. And anyway, we've got lots more coming up on Material Issues over the next few weeks.
We've got all kinds of things going on, don't we?
Yeah, so what do we got going next week on the 20th?
Well, next week is the 23rd. It'll be 8 p.m. Eastern, our normal time. We've got a wonderful photographer, Teresa Kariakis. I keep calling her Kariakis because she's a good friend of Frank Susich, Dead Boys, and Deadbeat Poets on my label. But it's Kariakis. She was around in the 70s in LA when the punk movement was really starting to grab hold, and she was a great photographer and started taking pictures. And a lot of these pictures are very iconic from the punk realm. She's got classic photos that she took of the Go-Go's, Joan Jett, the Ramones, Blondie, Billy Idol, Iggy Pop, Stiv Bators, obviously, and she's got a running photo series that appears in galleries and museums and things called Punk Turns 30, and she's just had a very interesting career as far as photography goes. And within the music world, she's writing her memoir right now. We're going to get a little sneak peek of that, and we're going to have her on the show next Sunday to talk about how she got into photography, how she landed in these spots to take these wonderful photographs, what her touring exhibit has been all about, what she's doing now, and a lot of really cool stories she's got from the punk era. It's going to be great. Teresa Kariakis next Sunday night here on.
I look forward to that. She was doing this mostly right before I moved out there, so I'd like to. Yeah, it'll give me a good feel for what the scene was like prior.
Pretty awesome.
And then on the 30th, I guess, right? Yeah.
30th, yes, the 30th.
On the 30th, we have, and again, we'll overuse the word, but not really in this case because it applies. We have the guitarist, I should say, although he's pretty iconic himself, from the iconic power pop band, the Rubinoos, certainly a band that if you like power pop, they're probably somewhere in your top 10 of all time. And yeah, Mr. Al Chan will be our guest. I think they're still doing shows in Spain right now, or is the tour over? I don't know, but
I know they were doing shows with Vivica Sagastad and Ken Fox and her whole band. I know Vivica's back in the States. I don't know if the Rubinoos continue to tour right now over there, but what's going on? But they had about 2 weeks of touring all over Spain. Yeah,
which Spain, of course, loves power pop. Other than the U.S., that's probably the second most. It's probably the second most popular form in Spain. So yeah, I'm sure they're having fun there. So yeah, Al's a great guy, and we look forward to having him on. The next 2 weeks, we'll be showing some episodes we pre-recorded, and the first one on the 7th will feature the great mod band from Medway, London, the Len Price 3, and this is their newest album, Misty Medway Magic, and it's another winner on Wicked Cool, Little Steven's label. They've been on that for a while. Len Price 3 have toured all over the place. They have come to the U.S. I don't know if they've been to Australia, but they've come to the U.S. Of course, they tour the U.K. a lot. They've played IPO Liverpool a few times, which is it's always a thrill to have them up there. I'll never forget. I may have told this story already. I didn't hear this, but Rena did. I was in the other room when this happened, but there was a manager of another mod band we had on right before Len Price 3. We wanted to make sure the two played, right near each other to keep that mod vibe going. Anyway, in the middle of their set, the manager of this other band shook his head, and said to Rena, "I'm going to go home and cry now. These are too good." With my bad Scottish accent, the bandits in Scotland. And I love the fact that they call a band these rather than them or whatever, but or they. But yeah, he knew. I mean, this is a guy who knew mod, and he just knew how good they are.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I believe they're coming to the States fairly soon, to the East Coast.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember exactly when, but yeah, shouldn't be too hard to find out. So, I don't know if they're playing down in Philly or anything, but I know they'll be in New York and probably Boston also.
Yeah.
If you've never seen them, it's definitely worth it. And this album, Misty Medway Magic, is just great. So,
Indeed.
So we'll have that. We'll have the pre-recorded episode on airing on December 7th. Then on December 14th, we recorded this episode a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Right.
From Amsterdam, an amazing singer-songwriter called Jorik van Noorden. He's also an author. He wrote a book on Paul McCartney and the records in his cabinet. It's pretty fascinating stuff. Jorik has put out several albums over the years, even though he looks like he's about 20. He's a little older than that. But he has a brand new one called Do It Now, which is great. I'm still waiting for the vinyl and or CD. I believe it has just come out in the Netherlands. It's on the great label Excelsior. Big shout out to Ferry Roseboom and everyone at Excelsior.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that should be a lot of fun too. That's on the 14th. And then we're getting near the holidays, but I'm still trying to line up something for the 21st. And we've got something on the 28th though, don't we?
Yeah, we just booked this, and as far as I know, it's all verified and great. But if you're a fan, as David and I are, of early 70s,
Top 40 radio.
Top 40. And we talked about this earlier. It's like, yeah, if you had to describe if you had to pick one or two songs that would absolutely, what's the word I'm looking for? Absolutely
define the era.
Yes, yeah, define the era. This might be one you talk about. Band called Gallery with their song "Nice to Be with You."
Huge hit in 1972.
Huge hit. The guy that wrote and signed that, Jim Gold, is going to be on the show. It's going to be on Material Issues. He's still out playing. He's still writing. As a matter of fact, he's writing a lot of material for his daughter Mel, who I know now. And Jim Gold from Gallery. It's going to be nice to have him on the show. Material Issues.
Nice for him to be with us.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, and that's an example of the video killed the radio star thing. Not that they were bad looking guys, Gallery. They were not. But nobody knew what they looked like.
Yep.
Didn't matter. That song, raced up to number one on so many different charts, and it's a song that, again, it's one of those things where people will know the song. People of our age and maybe even a little younger will know the song. They might not know who did it,
right?
But if they watch Material Issues, they're going to hear all about the band Gallery and all about the stuff that Jim has done since then as well.
And after that takes us into 2026. Who knows what's going on? We haven't booked anything into the next year yet, but it's just absolutely amazing to me. Again, this was episode 229 tonight. 229. I thought we'd do about 10 episodes when we
we were you've been talking about that. Maybe next year we'll have Donald Trump and Bill Clinton on together. If you know what I mean. Yeah. Maybe they can reenact something that happened like 30 years ago.
Yeah, that would be good. That'd be good.
Supposedly.
Supposedly. But yeah, it's really great. So if you haven't, I know I've been talking to a lot of people recently, about Material Issues, and they were always asking, well, are all the archives available? Yeah, materialissues.com. I'll run that little link right there. If you click on the live tab at materialissues.com, which is our YouTube area, all 229 episodes after we finish up tonight are available. And
even episode 95.
Yeah, that's starting to get more and more popular. And
Yeah,
if you don't know, you got to check it out. You got to check it out in the archives. So materialissues.com. While you're there, subscribe, share it, tell your friends, hey, if you're a music fan, and it's not only just music, we've had some really great authors, we've had some athletes, we've had some celebrities, we've had various things going on. So but we've had a lot of really
cool. But mostly we know that our viewers are big pop music fans. So we try to get pop music artists from all eras on this show. And as you said, Mark, we have we basically we have a now I'm looking for a word, but we basically have more than a snapshot of the music, the scene, the scenes, the atmosphere, the whole thing. And it almost could serve as a time capsule.
And as I told, I was testing earlier today before this show with Teresa Karyakis to make sure her connection was fine. And as I told her, and just everybody understands, people who watch the show understand. Our interviews aren't your normal cookie cutter interviews. We like to talk about a lot of different things, and I think a lot of our guests really appreciate the fact that we make them think a little bit, and we get some interesting conversation going on, and it is more of a conversation. And I think you'll dig that if you've never seen a lot of things. Like Tim knows. Yeah.
Thank you, Tim. Yeah. Tim is probably our most loyal viewer, and we really appreciate it. God, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought here. Oh, that we're not burdened, we're not bogged down by FCC rules or anything like that. We're not bogged down with a certain time limit. We don't have people in our ear saying, "Time for a commercial, wrap it up." So we get to expound upon things as much as we want. And I think that our guests appreciate that, like you said, because we ask them questions that they normally don't get, things that might be a little more personal to them, mostly music wise, of course, but and stuff that some deeper stuff. And I think they're grateful for that. And we're of course very grateful for having them. It really means a lot when anyone accepts our invitation to be on.
Indeed. And we got a lot of great stuff coming up. So, subscribe to materialissues.com. We send out, or David sends out usually on a Friday, what's coming up on Sunday. We don't spam you or whatnot. And we appreciate everybody watching it. It's been a great 229 episodes now. We'll see you for many more next Sunday. Teresa Karyakis, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, right here on Material Issues. David, love Tarina. Have a great happy Toronto. Say hello to Dave the Boogeyman.
Will do.
We'll see you soon.
Stay well.
Then everybody.